It is time to check in with Carmi Levy, our CTV tech analyst. We talk about the big tech stories of the week every Thursday afternoon. So, Carmi, I thought we start with this story because it took me a while to realize, but Google, who own the Chrome web browser, which I'm guessing is probably the most popular web browser, right? They're apparently in danger of losing that as to some, when I say losing, in terms of something they could actually continue to own. What's this story about?
Yeah, so of course Google brought us the Chrome browser, and they have been working their way through a case. The U.S. government, the Department of Justice, sued them for antitrust a few years ago, and they're in kind of the final sort of the judge is deciding what penalty Google should pay for being a monopolist. He's already ruled that they are behaving like a monopoly. And one of the resolutions to this could be they might force Google to sell off pieces of its business. And that could include the Android operating system, but more likely it could include the Google Chrome browser. And so, Google has said in the past that it disagrees with the ruling. It will fight an appeal, and it has no intention of selling it. However, Perplexity, which is an artificial intelligence company, they compete with OpenAI as well as with Google. They came out of nowhere, made this massive offer, $34.5 billion, and that's American real dollars, to buy Google Chrome if, in fact, the ruling does come down that Google must sell it. Google hasn't responded to it. They've essentially gone quiet. They're waiting for this court case to kind of play its way out. But it is an absolutely stunning figure for arguably one of the biggest pieces of technology that we all use. 3.5 billion people use Chrome regularly. It has over 60% of the global browser market. Chances are all of us are using it now, even if we don't know it. It is literally the gateway to the internet. And Perplexity, the company is only worth $18 billion. They don't even have the money to spend on this. They say they have a bunch of investors. They won't say who they are, but they are saying that they are ready to buy it if, in fact, it comes to that, if they are ordered to break it off.
Can you imagine that? The company is not worth the amount of money they're offering to buy this browser from. They're worth like less than half. Anyway. I guess when you have that many customers, you're not going to be hard to raise that money, all right, to go find that money in the markets. But still, it's just a staggering amount of money.
It is, and what's interesting is some analysts had put the value of Chrome at between $40 and $60 billion US. So this almost, like to a certain extent, it undervalues how significant Chrome is. And this is just the way things are done in tech. They don't always follow logic. Sometimes it's to get everybody's attention, to kind of do like it's almost like a publicity stunt. It really is a publicity stunt. Get everyone's attention and just sort of get them talking to see what might happen. So it'll be interesting to watch this one, but oh my goodness, we are now waiting for that judgment to come down. And that will also be, from where I sit, a very seismic event in tech history.
Seems we talk AI pretty much every week these days. So let's do this story. You made a note that says researchers made a social media platform where every user was AI. And what ended up happening?
Well, if you've ever read Lord of the Flies, you kind of know how things sort of descended into anarchy and chaos. So researchers at the University of Amsterdam, they created a bunch of AI bots, and then they put them into a test social media platform. So it was very simple. There were no ads, no algorithms, no recommended posts or anything like that. It was just, they gave them advice. You follow other users, engage with them, and let's see what happens. And what they found was very quickly, things did descend into anarchy. They followed only users who shared their same political beliefs, so that kind of reinforced the echo chamber. The bots would follow other bots that posted more partisan or polarizing political content, and the ones who were most successful were the ones who had obviously the most followers and reposts, and they also sort of had the highest levels of engagement. And what they found was even when they moved to dialed down the algorithm, moved to a chronological feed, devalued virality, they hid follower and repost figures to kind of make it a little bit more even. It still was absolute anarchy. They used the word war. It was like they were having a war with each other. And anyone who's ever gone onto X to kind of see just the pitched battles back and forth, the toxicity, the nastiness, they're saying that when computers did the same thing resulted.
Wow. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised. Then there's a story here. I'd like to know what this is about. So Instagram has a map feature. Why is this controversial?
It's worse, and so they've introduced it. Basically, what it'll do is if you have to opt in, you go into the settings and turn it on. And what it does is it allows people who are your friends on Instagram, who you follow them and they follow you, to see where that post was shared. So you can share your location based on what you're posting, which sounds kind of neat. If you're just within your group of friends and your family members and all that, it's actually kind of handy. We use location-aware apps in our family all the time, but of course, it's with everyone's permission. What's concerning about this is that we know Instagram is very visually oriented. A lot of young people use it, and it makes it very easy for sort of stalkers to get involved, to sort of insert themselves into the process. It's not that easy to see within the way the app is designed who you're sharing with, in what context. You don't get alerts or warnings. So there are very significant safety concerns that people who shouldn't know where you are will know where you are. And of course, there's also the mental health impact, particularly for young users. There's this almost need to keep up. You have to be posting from really cool places. And if you don't, well, you might fall behind. You might fall out of favor within your social network. So mental health experts are warning that location-aware features like Instagram Map are very problematic for young people, and it's something that parents might want to be talking about with their kids as this feature goes into wide release.
And then the story here about China launching the world's first humanoid robot mall. I have no idea what this is about.
So it's a 4-story building. It's located in the E-Town district, which is kind of like a
high-tech
district. And you can buy a robot, you can get it serviced, you can buy spare parts, you can sort of. Yeah, and so and basically what they're trying to do is, it's one thing to build a robot, it's another thing to sell it, to sort of get it in front of people and show them what it can do, that it can cook and it can make your coffee, or it can sort of help you with health care and paint your house, things like that. And so they really are trying to sort of show robots at retail and ignite retail demand for it. Of course, China wants to be a global technology superpower. They're investing in robotics and artificial intelligence and sort of closing out this sort of the retail question, like, why aren't all of us buying humanoid robots, 60 plus years after the Jetsons was first introduced? That's a really interesting question, because right now the most popular robot in the world is the iRobot, the Roomba that vacuums your house.
Well, it's not really that's not really a robot, though. I mean,
it isn't. It's officially it's a robot. It's just not a humanoid robot. It doesn't look like Rosie the robot from the Jetsons, and so we haven't quite lived up to that. That everyone's sort of wondering, where is my humanoid assistant robot? This robot mall is designed to create a market for it, but also give China experience in terms of how you build an ecosystem. Probably good for us too.
I will, by the way, I should tell you, when I saw the headline, the first thing I thought was humanoid mall. Like, there's an actual mall, and it's all run by robots. I didn't realize it was actually like a showroom where you could go buy your own personal robot.
The robots don't run the mall, but apparently there is a food court, and you can go to the food court. Robots will serve you the food,
cool.
and they will also make the food in the kitchen.
Will they clean up after the...
I'm presuming so. It did,
okay.
The article didn't say that, but this being China, and I've been there, very certainly in the middle of Shanghai, probably one of the cleanest city centers I've ever been to.
By the way, not that you, maybe in case you do know, like if you wanted to buy a robot, because ultimately we'll be able to buy them, right? How expensive are they right now? Like a humanoid robot?
We can use the guidance from the Beijing Robot Mall. They start at about just under $300, and they go all the way up to, and this is my favorite one, a life-sized Albert Einstein humanoid, and that would cost about they were serious, and that would cost about $97,000. So, depends on your budget, but there's apparently a humanoid robot to fit every budget.
Go figure. It's only a matter of time. I think this is pretty cool. All right, Carmi, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Why would Albert Einstein cost? I mean, I get it. It's Albert Einstein, but in between $90,000 and $300 for a robot, I guess, why? Any idea why Albert Einstein? If you wanted artificial intelligence, you could find it. Is because Albert Einstein's supposed to be really a smart robot, or I don't know. I'm asking rhetorically. I have no idea why.